Welcome to episode 59 of the Arctic Crafts podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. I also have a group on Ravelry where you can enter make-alongs and the occasional giveaway. I also have a Ko-fi page where you can sponsor the podcast with money that I'm using for shipping, for prices, and hopefully one day I can afford a new camera, because this camera isn't all that. As you can see, I'm totally blown out. I've adjusted the camera for a long time, but can't get it any better than this. And it doesn't get much better with editing either. So, enough about that. While we were talking about make-alongs, I wanted to show you the prices for July for the Arctic Summer of Socks. I hope you're still knitting those socks, because this is going on for the entire summer. And the prices for July are this bag made by Kate of the Hawthorne Cottage Craft podcast. It's got this beautiful floral pattern on the inside, and the other price for July is this skein of yarn from Nicole C. Mendes. She's one of my favorite self-striping dyers, and this colorway is Petrificus Totalis because it's from her Harry Potter club. So that's the prices for July. So if you want to have a chance of winning one of them, you have to enter your socks in the Arctic Summer of Socks on Ravelry. And I also have a pattern price for July. Inga from Knitting Traditions donated two sock patterns for the podcast. And the first one was drawn on Instagram for June, and the second one will be drawn on Instagram for July, and you use the hashtag Arctic Summer of Socks MAL, one word. Oh, I need more coffee. And if you're wondering why I'm sitting here, it's because we are having our first storm for the season. It's a bit early. Normally they don't come until later, but we're having our first storm. So it's overcast, windy and raining outside, so I had to move closer to the windows. I refuse to use extra lighting in summer in northern Norway, if you know what I mean. Hopefully that didn't make too much noise, because I had to adjust the microphone. Hubby and Erlend are banished to their bedrooms while I'm recording this, because I can't record in the bedroom because it's just big enough for a bed, basically. But both of them, as long as they have their computers and the internet, they're happy to go elsewhere. So this one is probably going to be a bit short, both because I don't have a lot of knitting to show you. I don't have any shameless self-promotion, because I haven't been dyeing any yarn, because I've been busy with other things. So I have 2 FOs, I have 2 whips, and I have some show and tell. And that's about it, unless I start babbling on about something. I can just fill you in on the fair I went to last weekend. Unfortunately, it was a bit chilly, overcast. It didn't rain, thank God for that. It didn't rain, but it wasn't pleasant. So that, of course, had consequences for my sales, because people sort of rushed through the fair and some of them pointed and said, oh, look at that beautiful yarn, but they just kept on going because they didn't want to stop, and I can't blame them. I was, for us, for the vendors, having to stay outside all day, it wasn't all that pleasant. I'm just pleased that I didn't get a cold or something, because it wasn't that nice. But that's what happened with outdoor fairs and festivals. Those of you who have participated in those when it's been bad weather, you can probably relate. The next fair I'm going to is an Advent fair, and that's indoors. So hopefully that will help. And I said I started out wearing one of my FOs, but it was too hot, because even though it's a storm outside, we're still in July. So then the FO I was trying to wear is something you saw as a whip last time, and it's my 4th Ranunculus, and it's knitted in the same yarn as 2 of the others. It's one of my discontinued bases. It's 100% soft merino, and the colorway is Tidal Wave. And this one has a wider neck than the others. That's because I tried using the first one I knit true to pattern, except I didn't use the tubular cast on. But I started with the number of stitches that the pattern asks for, and I didn't like the neck on it. And this time I tried the same for the 2 next ones. This time I just started with the amount of stitches you were supposed to have after you finished everything for the neck, including the first increases. So that's what I did on this one, and it just about covers my bra straps, and I like it this way, because if I'm wearing something underneath it, for example a shirt with a collar, it will show under this. Otherwise I knit it to pattern. I knit 3/4 sleeves on it, and I didn't use, I think I used 6mm needles on this one. So that's my first FO. My second FO you haven't seen. You've seen the yarn, but you haven't seen it as a whip, because I knit it rather quickly, because I loved knitting it. And I probably have to do a disclaimer here, because I've been saying not so nice things about mohair. You can see what's coming, right? I've been saying not nice things about mohair because I don't like knitting with it. I still don't like knitting with it. And I didn't like wearing it. I still don't like wearing mohair if it's on its own. I've never tried holding mohair with fingering weight yarn before, and now I have. And this is my No Frills, and I love this thing. It shows up a little more pink than it actually is, but it is pink though. But again, it's the camera. I want a new camera. And now of course the sun decides to come out, because I'm sitting here filming, and now the colors will go all crazy. Nice. So this is knit with, let's fish out the yarn. This is knit with Maema on my natural boo, my merino bamboo. And Comfy Cozy Knits merino mohair silk in the colorway Sugar Rush. And again, it's not this pink, but the camera is playing tricks on me. So these two together made this. And I can feel that it's mohair, because it's okay, so it might not be next to skin for me, because it's a bit itchy. But that doesn't matter because this sweater is so warm that I can't use it this time of year anyway. So this might end up as a sweater I throw on if I'm going to the supermarket in fall or in winter for that matter. Again with the sun. This is going to be a short one anyway, so yeah. We were having a storm, and when I start filming, the sun comes out. And makes me even more blown out on camera. So this is my No Frills by Petite knit in Arctic Crafts Natural Blue, Møysal, and Sugar Rush on Mohair Silk from Comfy Cozy Knits. And the yarn was a gift from Sue. The mohair silk, that is. Møysal on Natural Blue, of course, was something I did. I just snatched those 4 skeins out of my inventory because my Natural Blue hasn't been a good seller. Basically, it has probably not sold at all. So I've stopped dyeing it. And I had 4 skeins in my inventory. I had the sweater quantity in inventory. And it has been lying there for almost a year. So I decided, okay, I'll just use it myself. I only needed... I just barely started using the 3rd skein. So the 4th skein is back in the shop. So you can find 1 skein on Natural Blue in my shop on Møysal. And because I had a lot of yarn left, I of course decided to use the yarn for something else. And because I realized that mohair held together with fingering actually was really soft and wonderful. And this is as far as I have come on the Everyday Slouchie Beanie by Trysten Molina of Dragon Hoard Yarns. I have just barely started, and the reason why I haven't got any further on this is 2 reasons. One being, it's July. I won't be needing a hat for a long time. The other reason is I finally decided to start knitting. My husband bought me a sweater quantity of hedgehog fibers some months back. And I decided practically at once I got the yarn what I wanted to use it for. I wanted to knit the Maema cardigan by Pip and Pin or Megan Nodecker, and I finally cast it on. And first I'm going to show you the bag I have it in. I got this at the fair, and it's machine embroidered and quilted, and it has this beautiful print on the inside, and it's got pockets, of course, on the inside. And I really love this bag. I was debating using it for a purse or a handbag, but because it's knitting related, I want to use it as a project bag. And it says mest rett, men også litt vrang, and that has a double meaning that only works in Norwegian. Because the words rett and vrang has 2 meanings or several meanings in Norwegian, but a knit stitch in Norwegian is called rett, and a purl stitch is called vrang. So if I translate this, mostly right, mostly knit, but also a little purl, it doesn't make sense, especially not with this cute kitten. But the other meaning of those 2 words, or one of them, rett, can also mean right or good, and vrang can also mean wrong or difficult, and that matches with the kitten. Mostly right, but also a bit wrong. So it has a double meaning in Norwegian, but not in English. And after that, a long explanation that probably didn't make any sense to you at all, I'll show you how far I've gotten on my Maema. Or is it pronounced Maema? I'm not sure. I split for the sleeves yesterday evening. So this is how far I've gotten. Sorry about that. It was my son's mobile. He hasn't brought that with him. So this is how far I've gotten. I split for the sleeves last night. And this yarn is perfect for this stitch pattern. It looks a bit wonky. I checked last night because it looked a bit wonky, but I haven't gotten any mistakes in this. It's just a bit uneven down here where I split for the sleeves. Not sure why, but that will block out soon. No worries, because I haven't done any mistakes. There's not any mistakes. There's no mistakes down here. I double checked, trust me. And this pattern, after you've knit on it for a while, it gets mindless. So the honeycomb brioche is not a good reason not to knit this. And I did something that I might regret, but I had 4 skeins of yarn. And the pattern in XL or size 5 calls for a bit over 4 skeins. And the size 4 calls for much less than 4 skeins. It calls for 3.5 skein. Sorry about all the coffee drinking. The coffee is here, so I drink it. And I decided, because I have lost a bit of weight, I decided to, and I did a gauge swatch, and the gauge says 28 stitches for 10 centimeters or 4 inches. My gauge was 25, so I decided to knit large. I even had to go down to 3.25 to get that gauge. And the 28 stitches was on a needle 3.5 in the pattern. And I didn't want to go down to a size 3 needle. I decided I would use the 3.25 and knit a size smaller. The only thing I was worried about, because this cardigan isn't supposed to close in the front, it's supposed to hang open. The only thing I was worried about was the sleeves. And when I was splitting for the sleeves, I noticed that the pattern says, if you don't want the sleeves that wide, you can stop increasing on this side of the raglan earlier, because the cardigan is supposed to have wide sleeves. So then I have nothing to worry about. I'll just keep on knitting this honeycomb brioche. I was contemplating stopping here at the sleeves and do the rest in stockinette. But I like the way the finished cardigan looks, so it will take me longer to knit it because of the brioche. But basically, when you knit brioche, you knit the right side and the wrong side, and then you have knit to one row. That's basically what happens when you knit brioche. Or maybe not in this case. Let's see. No, you knit one row every time. It's just the slip stitches. So that's in this bag, and that might be my car knitting when we're going to Tromsø next weekend, because it's mindless. I'm just going to keep on knitting for as long as I want the cardigan. It's supposed to be a rather long cardigan, but again, because I'm afraid of playing yarn chicken, I'll see how long I want it, but it might not, probably below my hips, a bit below my hips, but not a lot longer than that. I'll probably do 3/4 sleeves. The pattern says to the elbow. But I would like to have 3/4 sleeves because that's more practical, because if I'm going to use the cardigan in full, I can wear a t-shirt under it and still have a bit of warmth down my arms. So that's it for the Maema. I realize I'm really up in your face here because I have the camera zoomed in. But who cares? I don't want to start this all over again, for obvious reasons. Hubby and my son can get back when I finish, and we have plans for the day as well. And it's 11:30 a.m. I didn't have to add a.m. You knew that. Okay, so midnight sun, but this time of the summer it actually started setting again, because it dips below the horizon now, and I can't wait, because the midnight sun, when it starts dipping beneath the horizon just a bit, makes for gorgeous sunsets / sunrises, because it's basically a sunset just going over into a sunrise. So the sky is absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to remember having some footage. Speaking of footage, I'll put a bit of footage at the end from the stuff I've been recording between the last podcast and now, and I have some pictures from the fair as well. I put everything at the end. And that's all I've got on my show notes. That's all the knitting, basically. I've told you about the fair, so that's done. And nothing exciting has happened since my youngest son got here, apart from the fair. And nothing much is going to happen today because of the weather. We're going to Sortland, the next town over, for some shopping, and I'm really thrilled about that, because they have a really nice takeaway sushi place. So I'm having sushi for dinner today. And the boys will probably have Burger King, I guess. They don't know what they're missing. So I only have one more thing to talk about, and it's for my show and tell, because a friend of mine from Italy sent me some goodies, and she doesn't want me to say her name on here, so I'll just call her my Italian friend. And she sent me some amaretti, and that was really nice. And my youngest son also liked the amaretti, especially the crunchy ones. Can I call them that? She also sent some soft ones, 2 different kinds, and I prefer the soft ones. And my youngest son really loved the crunchy ones. The small crunchy ones I've tried before, because when we went to Milan, I bought some as a souvenir at Malpensa International Airport when we left Milan. And I really love them. They remind me a bit of something we have in Norway for Christmas called kransekake, and it tastes a bit like that. And it's really nice with coffee. And as soon as I finished recording this, I think I'm going to have one with the rest of my coffee. Okay, so I'm on a diet, but the philosophy is, it's not a cheat, it's a treat. And I'm going to give myself a treat. The nice thing is that these things, last for a very long time if you only can have a little every day. But she also sent me yarn. And I'll show you this cone. I'm not sure you can see the color. There you can see the color probably. She of course sent me pink yarn. And this is, it doesn't say, but I think this is, it might have a bit of viscose in it. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how much is on this cone, but I think I will just start with a shawl. I haven't got a clue how much is on this. It doesn't say on the inside, but it's really beautiful, and I'm just going to start on one of those shawls that you can knit. A one skein shawl that where you can just keep on going if you have more yarn left. So this is for a shawl. She also sent me some merino. 2 different brands. Just trying to open this because it's packed in bags with two balls in each, and I haven't opened these, of course. Sorry about the crinkling. And they are 2 different brands, but it's 100% merino. And all of these are Italian brands, even though it's called Australia. It probably is not pronounced Australia in Italian, but so this is, I checked the yardage, and it's a sport, basically. And this is the other brand. And everything is, as I said, 100% merino. And I actually think these colors go together. So I have 2 each of these 2. And I have 6 of this. So I'm going to do some calculations and see what I can make with these. It's not enough for a sport weight sweater, I think. But maybe I can stripe a t-shirt or something and stripe it with these. I'll see what I can do. I think those would look fun striped. And the last thing I was really, really thrilled about. As you can see, this yarn wasn't meant to be sold at the yarn store. You can tell by the look of the yarn ball that it wasn't supposed to be sold in the yarn store. Because this is a custom spin for Missoni. And I suppose you all have heard about Missoni. It's one of my favorite fashion designers. And just the thought that this was custom made for Missoni makes me want to use this for something very special. I have to weigh this skein. It's fingering. And I have to weigh this skein. I'm thinking of doing something shifty with it. But then again, I want this to stand on its own. So Missoni, maybe I should combine that with Stephen West. Because Stephen West has some really fun designs. I'm not sure. But when I cast this on, it's going to be something special. Just because it's spun and dyed for Missoni. So that I was really thrilled about that. And again, she doesn't want her name on the podcast, so I'll just call her my anonymous Italian friend. But you know who you are, and thank you very much. It's so much fun I'll admit it, I love getting boxes full of goodies from abroad. And yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to weigh that skein or ball, or what you might call it, just to find out how many meters I actually have, because it's a fingering. And hopefully, if this is 200 grams, I might actually knit another Ranunculus or a t-shirt, something that takes 2 skeins. But I have to weigh it first. So that's my show and tell. As I was saying, I haven't been dyeing both because my son is here and because of the fair, and I've been busy doing other things. Next week I'll be dyeing a little. I'm going to dye up some more of the zebra sock and some more of the Suri silk cloud. Both the 1 skein I brought with the zebra sock and the 2 skeins I brought with the Suri silk cloud got sold. And that wasn't a big surprise, actually, because lots of people were just squishing the Suri silk cloud and, oh, this is lovely. But they didn't have a project for it. At the end, a lady just bought it, even though she didn't have a project for it, because she just needed to have it. She needed to take it home with her. So she gets the whole idea. You don't have to have a project for yarn. Buying yarn and knitting are 2 different hobbies. So she couldn't leave it. It had to come home with her. The lady buying the zebra sock was going to use it for socks. And I'm going to dye up more of both those. And I'm going to start test dyeing for the advents, because as soon as my son leaves at the end of the month, I'm going to start dyeing my advents. I'm just going to test dye a bit first on minis, because I have it in my head, but I haven't seen it on yarn yet. And that's always a good thing, because if I'm going to dye 15 skeins of the same color, it can be really nice having that color ready. So I can't start experimenting with the yarn for the advent. And because I have a limited storage space, I of course don't have any extra 50 gram skeins. But I've gotten everything I need for the advent, for the wrapping and everything. So as soon as the yarn is dry, I'm going to start wrapping the advents and getting them ready for shipping. So they might ship out before the end of August, depending on how much dyeing I get done. But I can't see a reason why I can't get a lot of dyeing done, because my son, as I said, is leaving at the end of the month. So I don't have anything else to do in August. Me and hubby hadn't got any plans, and at the middle of August, second week of August, he starts working again. So I have the house to myself. So the advents will get dyed early August, middle of August. So they'll be leaving at the end of August, early September. Can't wait to get them out of the house, because I've been thinking a lot about those advents, and I've decided if I'm going to do an advent next year, I might do the same thing for 50 gram skeins, but I might not do coordinating, or I might do 10 gram minis, 24 times 10 gram minutes, not coordinating. I'll see what I come up with, but I know I'm going to do an advent next year as well. I've already started planning for Halloween, and you have to be a bit ahead. And it's too late already to start planning for any collaborations for Halloween, I suppose. But I will be doing the MAL, and there will be prizes for the make-along Halloween themed ones. Even though I'm sending out the prizes at the end of October, early November, there has to be Halloween themed prizes for a Halloween make-along. So you just have to store them away for next year's Halloween. And I'm not going to keep going any further because I have stuff to do, and I told you this was going to be a short one. I'll get to edit this when I get back from Sortland, and I'll put it up sometime this afternoon/evening. And I might see you again on Instagram before then, but I'm not promising anything. So I hope you have a nice summer and better weather that we're having. But we needed the water because we needed the rain because it was really dry. So every cloud has a silver lining, as they say. So enjoy the footage that I'm putting at the end, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.